Hello, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. It's a game from yesterday that went really well. Very accurate. And I think I reviewed it, but we're going to just store that in our memory banks for now and play another game of chess. Let's play fives. I'm probably going to explain my first win and then tap out for this session. Just how I'm feeling and so on. All right. Played well. All right. Very high quality play, including a move considered brilliant. So we're gonna review this game. It's like a tactical tit for tat, and then it broke. It broke in my favor, and uh, extremely so. Now, if you've been watching me, you know that after e4, e5, knight f3, I play a variety of moves, and it's been a while since I played knight c6. So here I decided to play knight c6, and if the game turns into an Italian game, a Roy Lopez, a Scotch game, then no problem. Still play the game. They're fun openings in chess. So often I play knight f6. I think that online, the Petrov defense is kind of dry, and you have to know, you don't have to, but you probably are well off knowing the exact sequence of moves, um, to make the Petrov a true Petrov. But whatever it is, I find, yeah, oh yeah, players online, sometimes they see a position, an opening that's just naturally drawish. They try to, like, crash through against it, like break through, and that. And it's just not there in the Petrov defense, which is the Russian game. In the Russian game, or in the Four Knights, which is another possibility out of that opening. There's no wham bam thank you ma'am breakthrough, and I find that interesting to see what moves are tried against those two openings. So knight c6, and then we're in the Scotch opening. Yeah, I don't want to say where, partly because I'm not sure where. That said that the Scotch opening is no longer viable at the highest levels. Excuse me? Garry Kasparov played the Scotch opening. Has chess developed to the point where, I don't know. Maybe I'm making this up. I seem to recall that somebody said the Scotch opening is no longer viable at the top grandmaster level. It certainly is. Yeah. This is one way to play the Scotch. Two pieces on the knight, so you'll see a variety of different moves here, but I'd say heavily favoring knight takes c6, and I captured with the b pawn this time. B and D, they look alike but flipped, and they rhyme, and they're both letters in the English alphabet and everything. I captured with the b pawn, which looks like it's okay, and often I've captured with the c pawn. There's this alternative, queen to f6, I'm seeing now from Torch. Aha! With the double threat of checkmate on f2 and recapturing the knight on c6 without doubling black's pawn structure. Interesting. Hide that. I don't know. We'll keep it there. Oh, that pawn's gone mighty in the recent months. Okay. So then the threat of mate, however, white blocks that threat, then capturing on knight c6. Noting that knight to d4 doesn't help. What did I say? Knight to d4 doesn't help white. Captures on d4, losing the knight and not also the queen, unless there's a serious problem, unless there's a serious mistake. And yeah, so on we go. I captured back with the b pawn, and that was fine. My idea here with d5 is mostly expansion in the center. Black might be able to play knight f6, and then the initiative or tempo saving move bishop to g4, hitting against the queen and cutting directly into the center on white's half of the board. And then there's also, as we saw in the game, E takes d5. I captured back with the queen. If I were really sort of choosy about things, I might capture back with the pawn and have my pawns undoubled already. I thought capturing back with the queen was similar, but just maybe, I'm not sure. That's the move I played. And then queen to e2 check. I'm not vying for a queen trade on e6, so instead I plug things up, mostly because after bishop to e6 check, there's immediately available queenside castling, though that doesn't look like the greatest cup of tea in the world. But soon enough, there will be a kingside castle, and the bishop will be unpinned. And won't that be nice? Bishop to e3, looking to trade. Knight to f6. Simple development. Now my opponent gets the idea. Knight to f3 was knight to c3, hitting at this queen was probably the prescribed move here for white. Yeah, knight to c3, because while you have the queen open and like vulnerable like that, take advantage of it. Get your piece developed while attacking the queen. She moves, and then you kind of, in that kind of position after knight c3, white wouldn't really do a lot of think on black's time. There's just so many different places that black's queen can move. So you just play knight to c3 and be happy with a little bit of wait time. Get your bearings, some coffee, a cup of water, visit the bathroom if you must. Not in a blitz game, probably not. Anyways, I digress. Bishop to e3, knight to f6, knight to c3, and the interesting sidebar of that, that shows up on what I was just talking about. Bishop to b4 with a pin on the newly developed knight, but not only that, but white now cannot castle for going through d1, which is a contested square, is against the rules while castling. While castling queenside, d1 doesn't affect the kingside castle. But neither king make castle through check, out of check, or into check. That's just one of those things I'll mention now, because if you're learning by server and many games, you come out, why can't my king castle here? He's the right number of space, and you scroll through, you're looking at the move chart and everything. He hasn't moved yet. The rooks, same thing for the rook. Rooks on it's because you cannot castle through check. So I think my opponent's wise to play bishop d2 here. Now the castling is on. It's actually a darn good move. Not only is the castling on, but the bishop will be guarding c3 in a better way than the b pawn can. And there are also possibly some shots that white can take downfield, if you will, by playing maybe bishop to h6, and then the rook is making a discovered attack against black's queen. That queen, that rook is guarded, so it can't be just simply recaptured. And it's good. But first things first. Bishop d2. What did I have to say about that? I had to say about that, that's a darn good move, and I'm getting the heck out of the way. Queen to a5 makes this nice battery on the a5 to e1 diagonal. Is there something else about queen to a5? It's just, it's a smart move to just simply recognize that white has this strength in the position and get out of the way before all too much can happen against my queen on the wide open d file, or almost wide open d file, with the bishop on d2, and then there would be a rook on d1. If I remember, so after a3, if I remember, I played this move quick, reasonably quick, 2 seconds. Mostly because you play that move quick, and your opponent say he didn't notice that I'm attacking his bishop. That pawn that was attacking the bishop was pinned to the rook, so I would have queen takes a1 check, and however white chooses to defend against that is a different matter. But I've already won the exchange. Doesn't happen that way, but still, the move a3 might still have been made with the intention here and cause my opponent some shudder, as I maintain my strength on the a5 to e1 diagonal. Okay, yeah. Bishop takes a3. I'm really glad to see that this was a brilliant move. I know it was. I know when I made the move, I said this is just going to lead to a very strong attack, and that it did. So strong indeed that White will lose the game. Rook takes b5, wins. It's a miss. It's not a bad miss though, because rook takes b5, queen takes b5, pawn takes b5, and then even if bishop takes b5, then you got queen a2 check, then king to c1, and then queen to a1 checkmate, as the bishop on d2 is blocking any kind of escape plans for white. So I just played the move because it felt more natural to me, and it's one of the winning moves. Torch 4 wants probably queen to a2 check right away, and then with the forced mate in 2, that's the more polished way of finishing. Let's play that. I don't know. Something to do. All right. So it's Saturday, and we won our chess. I've won my chess game, this first game. I'm wondering if there's something a little bit off the beaten path that I could do. What I might want to do is I'm gonna check out. Let me keep quiet, for I'm not sure what I think actually exists. Okay. Yes, so there is indeed the type of lobby or arena for what I'm looking for. This starts in a day. Some of the other ones don't happen to be the ones that I know off the top of my head. Certain of these openings I know, and I do know. What I'm trying to look for is arenas that focus on one opening. This is such a great thing. Man, this is just so awesome. Chess.com has right on this screen 4 of the 6 tournaments. There are others up here. Petrov's Defense Arena means that you go there and you're gonna play Petrov, and that's it. Either as black or as white. That's great. I mean, some people say, "What? I don't want to do that." Then don't play Roy Lopez Arena instead, or regular chess, whatever it is. But I'm gonna avail myself of this. What do I say that? I have high expectations. I haven't played yet one of these specific opening tournaments. This one's for 1G3, Petrov, or Roy Lopez. There's one on the Benoni here. Queen's Gambit, I'm sure, is there a lot. Danish Gambit's ready for the going. Yeah, all these different the openings, and you go there and you play either white or black of the same opening within that arena. That's so cool. At least in my expectations, I expect that to be really awesome. So, uh, the gauntlet of expectation has been laid down, and the camping staff of Far Hills Country Day Camp have responded with vigor. I don't know why I said that. So paraphrase of, actually, you determine where am I paraphrasing that? Figure it out. It's one of the all-time great movies, and one of my all-time favorites as well. So I was gonna try to play in one of those tournaments, and I'm glad to see the one that's actually active right now has a good number of participants ready and playing within it. And then there's the idea of participating in just an arena more often in general. So that's good. But that's not quite off the beat. I could try playing. Wait. We'll close the analysis because we must. But wait a minute. Tournaments. Yeah, let's try the Grunfeld tournament. What could go wrong? Okay. All right. Well, what to say? I didn't make the most accurate moves, just a couple of blunders. But I found pawn to h6. After computer best, I continued with the attack when the blunder g takes f4, but then captures back with the queen is plenty good because black cannot escape checkmate in 3. And download this the PGN for this game. It's my first. I think it's my first game in the Grunfeld. It's definitely my first game in a tournament held specifically for any one particular open. I've never done this type of tournament, and we're off to a grand start. You can tell my cadence in my voice that I'm kind of moving towards making a taking a break from the action here. Let's see if there's one more thing I can do a little bit off from the beaten path. There's a lot of things you have to do. These courses. It's stress from good practice of chess. Against TV streamers. Now chess.com has this variant. I remember playing variants similar to this. And it's a hoot. It's a real hoot. What do I have to say about this 4-player chess? The main thing, from a competitive standpoint, knights and bishops are not close to equal anymore. The bishops are very powerful. Very, very powerful. It's like almost questionable whether or not they might be more powerful than a rook. Because red's queenside bishop cuts so far into green's kingside bishop. It's a long range piece on a larger board. But I'm not sure that actually establishes red stronger, because green's kingside bishop also cuts all the way deep into red's queenside bishop. But the long-range capabilities of the bishop make it stronger than the knight in this chess variant. You can play free-for-all, like the one way to view this board is as it's a free-for-all. And one way to view this board is as it's a 2v2 board. You can play 2v2 team, and the way to do that, the way to include the most symmetry and fairness is that your opponent is to either side of you, and your teammate sits directly opposite. Otherwise, it's team one, and then team 2, team 2, team 1, team 1, and that kind of thing. Like the teams can really get some momentum going by nature of the fact that they have 2 moves in a row. That's all I'm trying to say. I think usually your teammate sits directly opposite you across the chessboard. I played a couple games like this at my friend's house, and my 2 friends, their brothers, and their father was my 2 friends were brothers and teammates, and I was partnered with their father, and we won. There's different ways to treat what happens when a player is checkmated. One way, in dramatic fashion, the checkmated player, looking at blue, I don't know if you can see my cursor. I don't think you can. The checkmated player has a number of pieces remaining on the board. Whoever checkmated that player now has control of those pieces, though not his turn. Or maybe both pieces and turn. I'm not exactly sure. That seemed like that's a bit extreme because that would be the whole game right there. And then the most common way, from what I've heard and hearing echoes, eavesdrops, what I hear around the chess club and so on, is for the checkmated player is out of the game and his, her, or they pieces turn to stone. They're right where they are, and that's it. They're no one moves them or captures them or anything, which is smart because then it's still red and gold against green. And let's see if green can really fend off 2 players at once. Not likely, but it depending on how much was done before the blue player got checkmated. So that was fun. I had a real blast with my friends, and why do I like it? It's team chess. I don't play Bug House much. I might at some point, but I don't normally play Bug House or Crazy House, whatever it's called. So team chess seems like, hey, good deal. All right, but I'm not gonna play. Should I play a game right now? I'm not gonna play a game right now. Oh, should I? Oh, they want me to play one. Okay. These 217 people online want me to play a game of 4-player chess. Let's do it. 1 point queen. I want to be fair to the other players. I'm not really ready to sit down and play a game of 4-player chess right now, but it's likely to happen in the near future. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night.